Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin meeting with Israel's defense minister at the Pentagon yesterday. Austin says this, quote, operations in Rafah should not proceed without a credible and implementable plan that ensures the safety of and humanitarian support of civilians. Here's what two defense chiefs said before that meeting. Watch.
Our security bond is unshakable. The United States is Israel's closest friend, and that won't change.
Over the past 6 months, we have been fighting a war against a brutal terror organization, Hamas, which is the ISIS of Gaza. While I sit here in the Pentagon, Hamas leader Haniya is meeting with Iranian leadership. The picture is clear.
Joining me right now with more on all of this is the 70th Secretary of State and Fox News contributor, Secretary Mike Pompeo. Mr. Secretary, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, Maria. Great to be with you.
Yeah, so, I mean, all of this about Rafah and Israel comes on the heels of comments from Chuck Schumer, negative comments about Bibi Netanyahu, that he no longer serves the people of Israel, that they should have a new election, get him out. Sherrod Brown, a senator there, saying that he would equate Hamas and Bibi Netanyahu. President Biden saying, oh, yeah, Chuck Schumer's speech was a good speech. And, of course, all of that resulting in the Israelis canceling their delegation trip to the United States. Assess the situation for us now.
Well, Maria, that's a pretty good laydown of the situation. The situation is that Israel is largely on its own. And whatever Secretary Austin says about we're their closest ally, that may be true, but we have not proven to be a reliable partner. We allowed the UN to pass a resolution for a ceasefire without even tying it to the release of the hostages. We've told them you can't go into Rafah without an implementable plan. Let me assure you, the IDF isn't going to go into Rafah without an implementable plan. They will have a detailed plan about how to execute this, and they will do it in a way that tries its best to minimize civilian casualties. They understand what's at stake here. These are serious warriors. And so, unfortunately, what this Biden administration has done, it has listened to the loudest voices on the radical left, the pro-Hamas wing of their party, and has abandoned our ally. And they have made it very difficult. They've given Hamas the power in the negotiations. Why, if you're Hamas, why negotiate with the Israelis today? You have the Americans on your side. Why lay down your arms when you have the Americans acting as if they really want to put restraints on Israel and not on you? This is easy to end. You tell Hamas to lay down their weapons, return the hostages, and the senior leaders are handed over, and the fighting stops tomorrow. Were the Israelis to do the opposite, were the Israelis to conduct a ceasefire and lay down their weapons, October 7th would happen over and over and over again.
Well, it's just incredible to me that they're having this fight with Netanyahu in the public's face. Like, this is in the middle of literally their fight for survival. And they're attacking Netanyahu now. An Israeli delegation leaving Qatar yesterday after Hamas once again rejected any terms for a new hostage deal. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office writes this on X. Hamas's stance clearly demonstrates its utter disinterest in a negotiated deal and attests to the damage done by the UN Security Council's resolution. I want you to talk to us about this UN Security Council. It passed Monday, demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza without conditioning the pause in fighting of a release of the hostages. The U.S. could have blocked that resolution by voting no, but the U.S. abstained instead. And that was the last straw for the Israelis, which is why they canceled their delegation trip here. Secretary, what are your thoughts on this UN resolution, and why does the administration keep pushing this idea of a ceasefire when we all know Hamas is not agreeing to any terms of any hostage release?
Maria, this is a mindset that President Biden has had for a decade about the Middle East. He doesn't understand that Iran is at the center of all of this evil. And so he begins the administration by calling Mohammed bin Salman a pariah. He begins the administration by taking the Houthis off the terror watch list. He starts to negotiate with the Iranians on a weapons program. All of these things they embolden, they empower the Iranians. And then because of that, Hamas feels free to go conduct a massive invasion in the horrible brutality of October 7th. And so what happened at the UN, our failure to veto that resolution, something that would have been automatic in the Trump administration, this would have been a layup. To not veto that resolution when there's no tie to anything. There's no commitment from Hamas to do a darn thing other than to not fire back when the Israelis don't come after them, betrays our partnership with Israel. And I will say this, too. The Emiratis are watching that. The Saudis are watching that. The Omanis, the Kuwaitis, all of these countries, the Chinese are watching that. When they see the United States side and vote with in the same way to allow this resolution to move forward that the Russians and the Chinese did, they do not feel like they have a friend. And they see President Biden engaged in political theater so that he can win a handful of votes in Michigan so that he can be reelected. That is not the way one ought to be conducting foreign policy, and it is deeply dangerous for the United States of America as well.
Yeah, and that political theater is the issue because so many people are saying this is all about votes, that President Biden is worried that he's going to lose the pro-Palestinian vote in Michigan, like you said, and Minnesota, and that's why he has done this about face. It's just maddening. We're going to keep a spotlight on it for sure. I've got to ask you about Communist China. You've been so knowledgeable on this issue even before it was so clear of Communist China's goals and motives against America. Xi Jinping meeting with American CEOs and academics today in Beijing. The chief executives of Blackstone, Qualcomm, FedEx, all in attendance, according to Chinese state media. Xi Jinping said this: China's development has gone through all sorts of difficulties and challenges to get to where it is today. He also called for more cooperation between the United States and China, Secretary. He's calling for more cooperation while he undermines the country in plain sight.
Yeah, this is classic Chinese propaganda. Bring them in, hug them, and then mug them on the backside. Deliver fentanyl that's destroying their country. Threaten Taiwan, come after the Philippines, build out a military that is world-class capable. He has no intention of win-win solutions. That's what the Chinese often talk about. They say we want win-win solutions. Xi Jinping has a deep intention of global hegemony. He wants to control politically as much of the globe and as much of the global economy as he can. And American business have a responsibility. I get it. They're there. We encouraged them to go there for 40 years. But we should not be naive. He's allowing those companies to operate inside of China because it's in his best interest in the short run. There will come a day when that won't be true, and much like many of the other American companies that he has kicked out, stolen their intellectual property, and attempted to destroy, he will do that to each of them when the time is right.
Yeah, I mean, American CEOs are looking at the 1.4 billion person population there and trying to sell goods, but you know they were enablers of Nazi Germany back in the day as well. Would you equate Xi Jinping to Hitler, to this situation? Would you equate it to Nazi Germany or where we are now and perhaps in the 1930s?
So it is different in kind for a handful of reasons, not the least of which is the deep economic connectivity between the two. But the challenge, Maria, I think, is indeed the same. We are fighting about what's the world going to look like 25 or 50 years from now. Is it going to operate on a model that has benefited the United States of America so enormously? American leadership, the rule of law, basic property rights, human dignity? Or is it going to look like a Marxist-Leninist world where it's all about power and who can steal from whom? Those are the two differences. Those are the models. We have to get them right. And then, Maria, you know, I've talked about this before. It's not just about what's taking place there inside of China. We have to worry about what's taking place here at home inside the gates in the United States. The Chinese Communist Party is operating deeply inside our country. We conducted the largest counter-espionage operation in the history of the United States back in the Trump administration. The Chinese haven't gone away. They want to undermine our republic, and we have to do everything we can. And we have the tools and power to do it to prevent that from happening.
And we question why Joe Biden just won't do it and whether or not he's compromised. Secretary, real quick before you go, I want to get your take on this deal in the works. Deal makers are increasingly worried about national security issues affecting M&A. And right now you've got this company, Vista Outdoor, selling its ammunition business for almost $2 billion to a Czechoslovakian group, a Prague-based defense conglomerate. It would leave Vista's non-firearm brands, including Camelback water bottles, Fox Racing mountain bike gear, as a publicly traded company. What are your thoughts about a U.S. ammunitions business being sold to a Czech company?
So I'll give you my answer on foreign direct investment. If it's a friend and an ally, I want their money. I want them to come own and invest in the United States of America. That's been a long-held policy. I think that's the best thing for our country. It creates thousands of jobs here. When you get into the space like ammunition or technology, it gets more complicated. You really need to make sure that you understand who the owners are, that there's not a beneficial owner that's connected to the Chinese Communist Party behind it. But look, if they want to put money in and build stuff here and use their capital to help America's economy grow, I'm all for it.
Okay. And ammunitions business seems pretty close to home in terms of U.S.
I agree.
secrets.
It's pretty close to home. I don't know, Maria. I don't know the facts of that particular instance. I agree. The ammunition business is pretty close to home. When we're talking about American weapon systems and the technology that goes into American weapon systems, we definitely want to have control of those.
Yeah, Secretary, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a happy Holy Week, Maria.
And to you.